going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. So in today's video I wanted to talk about sexuality, and I wanted to talk about how basically when it comes to the rulers of our world, they want everybody to be one of two ways. Okay, they want you to either be completely obsessed with sex to the point where you're watching porn, you're masturbating all the time, you're constantly looking at images and stuff like that, and you're overstimulated and you're drained of energy, of life force energy. Okay, they want you to either be like that, or they want you to be completely the opposite, which is, you're completely disinterested in sex. You think that it's a sin, you think that it's dirty and it shouldn't be talked about, and this is one of the reasons why in the Bible, sex before marriage is considered a so-called sin, right? And so, yeah, they don't want you to be anywhere in between. And the thing is, when it comes to sexuality, it's a lot different today than it used to be. And as far as like the indigenous cultures and the indigenous races, they viewed sexuality in a different way, especially the Polynesian, Hawaiian culture. They actually used sexuality to please their gods, okay? And they were more connected to nature. They were more connected to spirit. They were healthier with what they ate. They didn't eat chemical foods. There wasn't poison in the air, things like that. Not to mention their parents were the same way. Their grandparents, great grandparents were the same way, all connected to nature. So therefore, their sexual experiences were very enhanced, and they would find that they would get spiritual experiences during sex, and then sometimes they would even astral travel during sex into different worlds and stuff like that. And it was for these reasons, as far as I know, that they believed that sex was something that was, it was something that pleased their gods, and that's why they had ceremonies where they would have sex. It's what you would call orgies in today's world. Okay, so yeah, I mean, sex for them was a spiritual experience. It was a lot more enhanced. It wasn't just lustful and animalistic the way that it is today. And, that's the problem with today, of course, is, because of all the toxic crap in the air, the toxic food that we eat, things like that, I mean, people are way overstimulated with sex, and they use it as a drug, right? And, certain couples will have sex every day. People will masturbate to porn all the time. And when it comes to sexuality, it can be something that's healthy, or it can be something that's unhealthy, depending on how you use sexuality and how often you have sex, right? So if you're having sex every day, that's too much. But yeah, I mean, if you do it ceremoniously, the way that the natives did it, it could actually enhance your spirituality and better your health. And certain studies even prove that having sex on a regular basis enhances your health and it decreases your risk of prostate cancer and things like that. And it's good for your overall, balance in your body. So the problem is, if you're having too much sex, it can lower your vibration. It can do the exact opposite, especially in today's world, since everything, like I said, is extra toxic with our environment, with the food we eat. Since we're really unhealthy, and since we're way overstimulated, it can lower your vibration even more than, a long time ago when there was less chemicals and toxicity in the environment. I mean, it still lowered your vibration, but not nearly to the extent that it does today, right? And so that's why, you know, people have, nowadays it's like, you get some people even that will tell you some things like, you shouldn't have sex unless you're having a kid. Certain people in spiritual communities will think like that. And yeah, I don't find that to be the case at all. I mean, our closest relatives, bonobos, they have sex all the time for pleasure, and certain animals in nature do as well, like dolphins and other animals, So yeah, we can have sex for pleasure, and we can actually, if we were more connected to spirit and nature, we could use it for spiritual experiences and things like that, and to actually better our health. There's yogis out there who give advice to couples, and they do what's called tantric sex, or they give them advice, and the couples use sexuality in a way that actually balances their chakra system when talking about spirituality, get rid of blockages in their body, things like that, and actually do some healing, and even some healing from trauma that's stored in their body. So sexuality can be used in that way, for health reasons. But like I said, if you do it too much, then it can do the opposite, and it can lower your vibration, especially in today's world, like I said. And it can lower your vibration so much, uh, you know, to the point to where you're just out of energy. You have negative thoughts, low vibrational thoughts, emotions, etc. And you could be more susceptible to anger and things like that. So, you know, there has to be a balance. There's some people out there that do what's called nofap, and I know that people have heard of this. It's to where they don't have any kind of sexual stimulation at all, no sex, no masturbation, and they do this for a long period of time, and therefore they build up their life force inside themselves. And this can enhance your healing. This can balance your chakra system. Most people can't do it for a really, really long period of time. And, I mean, there's certain monks out there that can, but that's a rare occasion. And most people's bodies are not really ready for that, and their bodies are not attuned to that. Maybe that's something that in the perfect world, if we were living in a completely healthy environment and everybody was on the right diet, maybe more people would get their bodies to be able to do that. But it can be good for short periods of time. And, one thing for men that you need to be aware of is too much sex, too much masturbation can decrease testosterone as well. And when you build up your life force, you have more energy and willpower and motivation to go after the goals in your life, get things done in your life. Um, and sex can be used as something that grounds you in your physical body more too. If you go too long with no fap, from what monks say and things like that, like they'll say that you kind of become more spiritual, you get into your higher chakras, and you're kind of more out of your body. And I think in today's world, especially in today's world, we kind of need balance, and we need to be more grounded, to this earth, to this reality, to your physical body. So things like sex, along with certain things like spicy foods, um, nuts and seeds, can help ground you more, so that you're not, way out of your body, and your chakras are not extra enhanced. So yeah, this is basically how it goes when it comes to sexuality. And like I said, they want you to view it as something that's like to where you're either obsessed with it completely and that's all you're thinking about, or they want you to be the opposite. They want you to not talk about it. They want you to think it's dirty, whatever. So there needs to be a balance when it comes to sexuality. Um, and when it comes to morals, despite what the Bible says, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having sex before marriage. Of course, I mean, it's completely ridiculous that people would think that that's a sin, and something like supporting government, supporting all the evil in this world and all the corporations that do evil things is somehow not as bad. Okay, it's ridiculous and it's illogical. So, there's nothing immoral about having consensual sex. There's really even nothing immoral about having, orgies. Okay, like I said, the native Hawaiians a long time ago used to do ceremonies, and they used to do what's called orgies today, and to please their gods. But even them, they didn't have too much sex because they knew that having too much sex would lower their vibration. Okay, so I mean, even though sex was a big thing in their culture, they knew that too much of it could drain their energy. And, some of them were polyamorous, they had multiple partners, and there's nothing immoral about that because, as long as you're not taking away people's freedoms, then it's not immoral. Okay, so yeah, if you want to have multiple partners, whether you're a man or a woman, You know, there's technically nothing immoral about that. Okay, and as far as the Polynesian cultures, after talking to some people in Hawaii, you know, one of them told me that, you know, a long time ago when sex was a big thing for them, you know, in their younger years, they would be polyamorous, but then eventually they would settle down with one person. Okay, and, you know, I could see that, and I could see how that would be the case. I think it's probably best that, you know, if you find that one person that makes you satisfied to the point to where you don't really feel like you need multiple partners. However, there's nothing wrong with having multiple partners. And, you know, you got to understand there's couples out there that swing every once in a while. That's what they call it. And sometimes they'll have like a partner, a different partner. And there's couples out there who do that and they still stay together, you know, for the rest of their lives. And they're still happy with each other. And they don't really let it get to them in a jealousy kind of way. So, you know, that's basically how sex is with today's world. You know, I mean, people are way too limited with their beliefs as well. You know, society will tell you you can only have one partner, you can't do anything else. And, you know, different things work for different people depending on their desires. And when it comes to STDs, while we're on this subject, the real truth about STDs is it's actually caused from bad health and too much toxicity in the body from what people are eating. Okay, because when you're having sex with somebody, you're absorbing their energy. You know, you're absorbing their toxins. Okay, and therefore the lymphatic system in the genital area can get backed up, and then, you know, things will come about. And they call them STDs and stuff, but really that's just a scare tactic that's been used by the rulers of our world to try to get people to have less sex. And so that's what that's been used for. It really has to do with the immune system. If you're already backed up with toxicity from all the crap you've eaten, and then you become even more backed up because your sexual partner is also backed up and you absorb their toxins, then yeah, you know, you'll have some issues. But yeah, that's another scare tactic. It's another scam. You know, all cancers, diseases come from the same problem: a weakened immune system, okay, a backed up lymphatic system because of what people are eating. So that's basically all I wanted to say about sexuality. You know, there's got to be a balance with it. You know, I mean, you don't want to become too obsessed with it, like today's world wants you to become too obsessed with it. And this is why you see images all the time on the internet now of you know, good looking women, or you'll go to places like Walmart or Target into the clothing sections, and you'll see like big images of, you know, girls that have like a nice rack, nice butt, and all they're wearing is like bra and underwear. Okay, things are like that in society on purpose. And it's like that by design to, you know, get you thinking about sex way too much, especially as a male. And unfortunately, yeah, a lot of people fall for this, and they don't really have a healthy attitude when it comes to sexuality. And they often go to bars and nightclubs and one night stands. And that's actually one of the worst things, worst ideas, you know, because whoever you have sex with, you're going to absorb their energy, whatever kind of energy they carry. When we're talking about things on a spiritual level, metaphysical level, you know, I mean, if they're carrying bad energy and you have sex with them, that bad energy is going to impact you. Okay. And if you have a one night stand, you know, I mean, you meet people at nightclubs, whether it's a man or a woman, you know, it's like these are often some of the most narcissistic people out there, and they're unhealthy as fuck. They're drinking all night long, full of toxins, full of bad energy. And so yeah, that's, you know, this is why I say you really want to be careful on who you choose to have sex with, especially in today's world. And you really want to be careful on who you choose to be in a relationship as well. So that's all I wanted to say about sexuality. Um, you know, like I said, there's there's a lot to think about when it comes to this subject, as well as relationships, which I'm going to get into in the next video. So Hope everyone's doing okay, and yeah, take it easy.